How's it doing? I don't know. It's still not fully fallen through. Ideally, I would have been able to find inch-by-inch hardware cloth, but half-by-inch is the best I could figure. So my question is whether, if I brush this, will it fall through now? So yesterday's project... Oh, I'm sorry, birds. I scared you. I'm sorry. We're looking through a tiny little 1/4 inch hole there. Whether yesterday's project was sufficient for going forward, right, with the floor being double floored. And the reason the floor is double floored is because when I first put birds in here, in the batch that Henny Penny's in, but Henny Penny was not out here for this, when I first put them in here, with a single floor, a raccoon came and grabbed their toes, killed one and amputated a toe on Roosty Roo and gave some scarring and other troubles. I had 2 stump-toed birds and 1 dead. So that's why we have this around about 2 inches gap. And it means that the critters can't just run their fingers along while the birds try and run away and just continually grab. They have to pull their fingers away and reach back up through again. And that is what protects the bird's feet. So, even though it's still an open floor, and interestingly, the PVC coated stuff over here isn't catching much. Okay, it's catching a little. You figured out your water. That's good, Ringy Dingy. Good job. I gave them warm water this morning because, again, things are frozen again. Aren't they? Aren't they froze again? They're froze again. Poor bird. So, over here it seems to be working slightly better, but that came through pretty well when I brushed it. So, I guess we'll keep an eye on it. I really wish I could find inch by inch or something like that, because I don't think it has to be so tiny that they can't get up through, that critters can't get up through. It just can't be so big that a mouse could get, like, well, I guess a rat could get in, because a mouse is a carnivore, or at least an omnivore, I guess, but, I don't know. Probably isn't quite as much of a risk when it's bottom up like that. I have seen rats eat birds if the bird can't get away. So a rat could do the same thing, but I would venture a guess that most people who are experiencing foot lesions in birds on wire cages are actually having predator pressure from underneath the cage. And if you want to try flooring like this, then you need to do 2 different layers of wire underneath the cage. The top layer that they're walking on can't be any more than 1/2 by 1/2 inch. Good drinking, Gooter Gooster. I don't even know who you are. You're too golden. I can't tell. It needs to be only not more than 1/2 by 1/2. And then the bottom layer, whatever medium-sized spacing of cloth you can get is what you should do. And then on the sides, it can't be more than 1/4 by 1/4, because apparently that's the size that mice can't squeeze through. And if a mouse got in there with them, it would be much bigger problems than just... And they don't find the way to get through when they have to do monkey bars and try and squeeze through. Like 1/2 by 1/2 is enough to keep a mouse out if they have to also do monkey bars, but it's not enough if they can, like, sit right next to it, like right here, and sit right next to it and then squeeze in. I also tend to put a sharp edge sticking out so that if they try and pull in, it'll pinch and then they won't keep trying. So those are scrap wood and hardware cloth cage building tips for you, and a very strong advice to avoid just putting one layer of metal mesh below your birds, especially if you have an area that has raccoons or a similar type of creature that wants to eat them. And it can also, I'm sure, happen with hawks and stuff, where they'll, you know, hang upside down and then just chase the little feet around, especially if you have like Cooper's hawks or any type of birding falcon that wants to eat, a falcon that wants to eat other birds, or that's their general nature. And when you put livestock in, you do need to expect that you're going to draw more critters in than just the ones you put there, because livestock draws wildlife. It does. So I hope this is a really useful look back on everything I did yesterday, and it gives you an idea of how to build a cage for a hutch and all of the considerations as far as protection and safety. I did also make this cage, both of them, pretty heavy, because if wind comes through pretty strong, this one's protected, but I also don't want a creature to be able to flip the thing either. So they're both pretty heavy. So that, I mean, unless I had a bear come through, which, you know, if you are bear likelihood, I don't know if they'd mess with birds or not, but if you feel like they're trying to, then I would, if you're going to do the stilt wire mesh bottom, I would cement those feet into the ground. I would. That would be my advice. If you find that the bears are trying to mess with your birds. That way they can't be flipped. Well, thank you for the conversation, Orange. It's very nice. So, yep. Those are my suggestions, and those are my hutches a little bit closer up, not full detail, after a slight predator proofing renovation due to my subfloor predator proofing being collecting poop instead of letting it through. So I hope that helps. If you see anywhere that I could order, or if it's under a different name, larger spaced, like inch by inch or so. I don't think 2 inches quite enough, but an inch by inch or inch and a half by something, or even inch by 2 inch. If you see something like that that's available for purchase in the US, please send me a link, because I may end up needing it, and I have been hunting and cannot find anything better than what I just showed you. So I would be very interested to hear if somebody's found something better. Okay, thanks so much. It's cold today, but it's not freezing. It's a little bit freezing, but it's barely freezing. And I'm about ready to go back in and get some lunch going. So it is my lunch break. All right, take care, everybody. Thanks so much for visiting the cliffside. This has been Permaculture. All right, take care. Bye.